about digital ID cards. Well, there'll actually be an app on your phone, and basically it's going to stop you working as a legal migrant. Apparently that's why the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, wants to bring it in, but it's a load of nonsense, and the public knows that. Fascinating new research carried out by Lord Ashcroft, the pollster. He's done a big focus group, found that voters of all political backgrounds oppose the policy. They believe digital ID will be ineffective, it will be costly, it's a massive hacking risk, and it will be used to control our behaviour. Well, ain't the great British public as commonsensical and wise as I always thought they were? Let's talk about this with Freedom campaigner Montgomery Toms. Good afternoon to you, Montgomery.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was really encouraged to see this. I have to say, this poll results, well, it was a survey, a focus group, because so many people have been sold the lie that, life would be so much simpler and easier if we all had digital ID, and it would be safer too.
No, absolutely. I think something that you touched on just before I came on was the fact that this is not kind of like a left wing or a right wing thing we're dealing with here. I've spoken to so many people who just say we don't want to be tracked, surveilled and monitored. It's not about left wing, it's not about right wing. This is about our privacy and distancing the state away from the individual. And the other thing is, it's quite shocking to when you realise how out of touch Labour is with the British public. Like, I think that they genuinely believe that the public want this, and I think they're quite taken aback and shocked by the reaction they've had.
Yeah, and indeed, I mean, was it 2.5 million people within a few days had signed? That's a lot of people to bother to sign a petition. I'm not a petition signer, you know what I mean? I very rarely. That's a lot of people who went, yeah. And given that it wasn't an immediate thing, it wasn't something that was coming in next week or a big scandal, it's quite interesting. But also, I mean, look, no one believes the nonsense that it's going to stop people who are coming here illegally on boats from working illegally and be that pull for those who are arriving as fake asylum seekers. I mean, because all these people who are employing these people on the black market right now are going to suddenly go, oh no, but you haven't got digital ID, I can't employ you. I mean, it's almost like they're taking us for fools.
No, well, they are, and they have been. But the really quite depressing thing is we might have a few more years left. And it's the public's responsibility to make their voices heard. We're seeing demonstrations emerging across the UK. There was one recently, one of the larger ones we've seen, where the public just aren't having it. And there's no infighting on this front. It really is just a discussion of no. And people ask, how can we combat this? And I suppose there are lots of steps. We can sign petitions, we can speak to our MP, we can speak to our neighbours, outreach, social media. But ultimately, we are going to have to get to a point, potentially, where mass non-compliance is going to be one of the core solutions.
But that said, it's all very well, and I think people, it's like when we talk about lockdowns and things like that as well, and people go, oh, well, I never wore a mask, or I never comply with this or that. Well, that's easy to do in certain jobs, isn't it? But other people will find they physically can't get a job if literally their employer goes, I can't employ you if you don't produce your ID.
Yeah, no, you are right, and I'm not being blasé about the repercussions, of course. I mean, I work with Together Declaration, which were formed out of the kind of COVID lockdowns, pushing back against a papers police culture, and that's why we've pushed forward for a digital bill of rights to say we need to ring fence our freedoms here. We're not against technology. It'd be ridiculous to say that. We're just against it being mandated, being forced on the public, and it coming with a side dish of, let's face it, a dystopian sort of social credit system style Orwellian
And that's not people think that's a Hollywood conspiracy. It's not. It's happening in China right now. It's been happening in India. It's other countries are doing it. And we saw what happened during lockdown. We saw what happened with Canada, with the truckers. We've seen it. It's been happening. It's real.
And this is the important thing. It was a real challenge in lockdown to try and get the public on board, because there was such an attempt to fearmonger and intimidate from the government. And bearing in mind, they were a Conservative government too, right? So this wasn't a left and right thing back there and either. But now the public have had enough. They understand that those that are in power are not interested in listening to the people, inquiring. And a petition on that scale, the fact that our current government just batted it away and said, we're just not really going to discuss it. I know that we have this thing called democracy, but let's not bother about that. It's just insane.
They think we're all on the fringes. They're quite wrong, and you're quite right. It's left and right uniting on this, but also it's just people who've been paying attention. Montgomery Toms is a freedom campaigner. Thank you so much for joining us. Do come on the show again. I appreciate you joining us. Claire Pissell, digital ID. It's very easy. People say, well, I wouldn't use it. We need to stop it happening in the first place.
Yeah, we do. It's the mission creep. It's not just for jobs.
where else is it going to take us? Don't trust the
scary.
government. I'm sorry, don't trust the government. Any
No,
government of
any
any political you know. She's worked in government.